Hey, what's up, YouTube? Well, I don't normally make 2 videos this close, or 3 videos in a week or something like that. Wow. But I just have so much left to say. It's like I don't know when I'll ever get tired of the subject matter that I've been harping on for well over a year. But hopefully, eventually it'll go away, the obsession, without me getting in serious trouble. But one thing I would like to add, okay, to what all I've been saying about how you cannot disprove what I've been talking about, or, you cannot, like in well over a year, no one has ever video responsed a single one of my videos to prove, like if I'm wrong, show me the proof that I'm wrong, is what I've been saying for well over a year. Okay? And I've already talked about the only thing I will accept is proof. Okay? But I want to title this video, Conflicting Information and a Censored Version. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is, just like with a lot of movies, especially for kids, a lot of times there will be conflicting information about the movie. And what I mean by that is, the books pertaining to the movie will be slightly different. And so will other merchandise. You know what I'm saying? So that movie is no exception. And even the outside of the VHS and DVD containers, the artwork differs, meaning that the pictures on the outside of the box were scenes not found in the movie. Okay, and how do I know that? Because they're dressed differently. The characters are dressed differently than they ever dressed in the movies, and that's fine. There is nothing wrong with that. I think it's totally awesome that they drew them slightly differently on various things. Okay? But, it just further drives home my point that you cannot disprove what I've been saying. Okay? And the other thing I'd like to talk about that I've never mentioned, and I can't believe I've never mentioned it in the well over a year that I've been talking about this subject. And what it is the fact that there is a censored version, so to speak, of the movie to an extent. And the way that it is censored is by the fact, and this was so clever, the way they did this. Okay? Basically, on the DVD, there are 2 versions of the movie when you go to setup. There is widescreen, which basically means that there's black up here, black down here, and your movie is playing right there. Okay? And that's what you would see at the movie theater. And that is the best way to set it up and watch the movie, because of what I'm about to tell you. Okay, then there is the standard screen, where it chops off this side and this side of the widescreen to fit it to your TV. Okay? Now, I've watched it both ways. And what they did regarding that scene that I'm obsessed with is so clever that it's unbelievable. Okay? They made it to where the standard screen version of the movie, and this could be part of where the confusion comes in, about which character pooped in her pants. Okay? The standard screen, meaning the narrow screen version of the movie, functions as a censored version. Okay? What do I mean by that? When you watch the movie in widescreen, which is the correct way to view the movie, you see, after Nigel says somebody needs a diaper change, okay, you see Angelica gets really upset about that comment. But then when he says, "I won't say whom," and he winks toward Tommy and the babies, she suddenly has a smirk on her face like she's really getting by with something. As Susie nods at her and the other kids laugh. Okay? Well, if you watch that movie in the standard screen or narrow screen version, okay, her little face gets chopped off on the side because she's sort of toward this side. Okay, so she is chopped off. And when you watch it that way, you cannot see the smirk. And so I've been wondering all this time if a lot of the people trying to gaslight me and tell me that I'm wrong, I wonder if they saw another more modified version of it. You know, like the standard screen version, or maybe in their language or their country or something, they zoomed in on Nigel's face to the point where it didn't focus on Angelica, which if you don't see Angelica's face, you totally miss the joke, okay? And you totally get the wrong impression about it, okay? But I'm still not going to allow comments. But what I've often wondered is if the people trying to say that I'm wrong might need to watch it in high definition in widescreen so that they see everyone's face. I mean, you know what I've done. I've pretty much obsessed on it to the point of knowing every single millisecond, every single frame of it by heart. Okay? I know the expression on every single one of them's face and how it changes in response to that. Okay? And it all points to the same direction. It all supports what I believe. So, you know, they were just so clever that they actually created a censored version of it in that way, so that if parents were really that uncomfortable with their kids knowing that it was Angelica that pooped herself, they could actually put it in standard screen mode so that their kids would not see that little smirk on her face, which is how you know it's her. Okay? So basically, you know, and the fact that they omitted that comment from so many of the children's books, and in the video games they're dressed slightly differently. You know, her dress isn't even the same colors. And she is all but omitted from that coloring book that I had bought, that Search and Rescue. There are only 2 pictures of her, and they're the kind that you have to scratch off with a coin. And so if you don't do that correctly, you could actually draw something totally different in those 2 spots where she appears. You know, if a kid wanted to put a big black scribble instead of her, they could do it. And also, well, you know, that's why I drew her in. I traced her on those 2 pages, and I drew her in every which way I could on the others, to say I'll show them, you know, if I want her to be there, I'm going to put her there 7 times. So basically, it just makes me so mad because it's almost like they knew what they were doing. I mean, believe me, they hid that so well that it's taken this long for someone to actually care enough to do these videos that other people should also be doing. You know, the question isn't why am I making these videos? It should be more like, why aren't other people? Why has no one else cared in 18 years? Okay? So, I mean, that just goes to show you how ridiculous it is. It's just been so long since that movie that do you realize that even if they were real people, Dill would be an adult right now. He would be a legal adult graduating high school. Okay? So it's just so infuriating, you know, that people will call me a liar and, you know, try to refute what I'm saying, but yet for some reason those same people, in all this time that I've been making these videos, not one person has ever video response to one of my videos to prove, you know, anything of the sort. You know, like they want to say that I'm wrong, but they cannot prove that I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? And to simply say that it's another character does not disprove that it's her. You know, I've said it every which way possible. That does not negate it being her. You know, I don't care who else did it. Like, I don't care if every other character on the show did it. That does not dispel what I believe. It does not disprove that it's her. The only thing that you can say to refute that is that they're not real people. It does not prove me wrong to say that another character did it, or that another character needed a diaper change, because it's like, who cares? That's what their diaper is for. But the one that's a shock is for it to be her that crapped herself. Because, her trademark statement is, "You dumb babies." Theirs isn't. They don't talk about, the babies being stinky and all that. They don't say stinky babies and dumb babies all day. She does. Okay, so that's why it's remarkable. It would just be normal if they did it. So anyway, I'm tired of talking about that. And I'm not understanding the thumbs downs. But I'll go ahead and post this video just to say that you cannot disprove what I've been saying, because the one and only piece of evidence that I would accept would be a video response. And I know that doesn't look like a pair of panties. You'll have to create a video response and prove that her panties look like this, plain and clean and white by the end of the movie, or that she even wore panties, which I don't even believe. I believe that she wore a diaper underneath that dress. I think she wore a big white diaper, a thick white diaper, because here's a news flash: girls do not wear tidy whities. You cannot go to Walmart right now and buy an all-white pack of girls' panties in a 2T, 3T, or 4T. Okay? It doesn't exist. Girls' white panties are print panties, like my blouse. They might have one pair of panties in the whole pack that's white, but the crotch does not look big and thick like what she's wearing. Okay? So I believe that she pooped her pants in that movie and perhaps a few other instances, and you cannot disprove it, because if anything, I'll only find more supporting evidence, because it looks like she changed her outfit at least 4 times or so. How do we know that that's not why she was in the hula skirt to begin with? How do we know that's not how she lost her shoes? Maybe she crapped herself earlier in the movie and it ran down her legs and she had to take off her shoes. You know what I'm saying? You cannot disprove it. And I don't know how the reboot will handle, her body and, how to present her nude. But if it doesn't, then it'll just be another stupid extension of the whole Rugrats franchise. And I really don't think it sounds very interesting. Like if all we have to see is her in the same purple dress with the underlying orange blouse underneath it, and the same blue leggings, I don't really think that sounds very interesting, or it doesn't look very interesting. You know what I'm saying? If they really wanted to get people interested in the series, why didn't they show some scenes where she's dressed differently? Why didn't they show her in a bathing suit? Why didn't they show her in her nightgown or something? Something other than that same outfit. Not that there's anything wrong with that outfit, except that we've just pretty much seen her in that almost all the time throughout the whole Rugrats series. And that's why I do not believe that she is potty independent, because the way she dresses does not exactly facilitate potty training or using the toilet. Okay? And we've never seen her demonstrate that she can. Not once. Okay? So, if she can't even demonstrate that she uses the toilet, why are we supposed to believe that somehow on a deserted island with no toilets whatsoever, except maybe in the Comvy, that somehow or another she continued to be potty perfect like an adult, with no parents to look after her or help her? Why are we supposed to believe that? I don't, and whoever does is an idiot.